What's up, everyone? It's the interview queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat.
Hey guys, it's Rosa, and welcome to True Heel Heat.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are back once again with another year-end list. This time, it is True Heel Heat Top 10 Women's Wrestlers of 2024. And of course, to do that, to talk all about the leading ladies of the last 12 months, we got to bring in the leading lady on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. She is the princess of all the True Heels, Miss Chrissy Love. How are you doing?
Hey peeps. Hello. How are you? Yeah, I feel like I do this with you every year now. This is like a tradition.
It is a tradition. It is a tradition. This is now what, our third year
I think it's our third year. Yeah.
True Heel Heat top 10 women's wrestlers of the year. So we appreciate y'all. If you're watching us on the premiere, if you're watching us on demand, if you're watching us sometime in 2025, we appreciate y'all either way. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And if you're watching us on the premiere, sound off in the live chat. If you're watching us on demand, let us know in the comments down below what you think. These are our voting process is of our team, of our community here. We put the form out there on our community tab. We've taken polls on a bunch of stuff. The polls will be more used on our year-end awards, which is going to be on True Heel Heat 309. But this top 10 is more of our team, our community, and our Patreon backers. So we appreciate everyone who voted for the nominations for our top 10 women's wrestlers of 2024. So show your support by commenting down below and let us know what you think. Who do you think was the best women's wrestler of 2024? Miss Chrissy Love, you are a purveyor of women's wrestling. What did you think about women's wrestling over the course of the past 12 months?
We had some good times and we had some very bad times. But overall, a good 2024 for the ladies, I want to say, especially more so on other platforms than others.
Well, that's always to be fair, always to be expected. We're gonna have some platforms that know how to treat the ladies and some platforms that don't. We're also gonna have platforms that are treating the ladies fine, and then everything falls apart after a big pay-per-view.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Seems about right. But yes, we want to know what you guys. Try my best. I try my best to be fair, always fair in my objections to anything. But yes, we got a lot to discuss from the past 12 months. But we got to talk about, before we get into the top 10, we got to talk about a couple of our honorable mentions. These are people who received votes for our top 10 list here, but quite just missed out on the cut. We got a couple of people that got a couple of nominations, but just missed out on it. We got Io Sky, who received 2 nominations, had 4 points overall. We also got our 2022 Women's Wrestler of the Year for our top 10, or number 1 for 2022, Bianca Belair, who received 2 nominations and 2
She didn't make the list. Wow. No. Okay.
Was she in your top?
I think she was.
I don't
I
know
don't
about
think
that.
so. Probably not. Then okay, well, there goes that. Now I gotta go back and check to make sure. I think I could have swore I had her.
I think so.
I think I did
I
that.
think I did. I believe I did. But if I
Oh,
didn't,
okay. Well, there goes that.
and
She didn't make the cut, so there,
we got a couple other people who received high votes, but just one vote. There was Chelsea Green,
Chelsea
me,
deserves a spot, but okay, because she's been killing it all year, babysitting and all.
Miyu Yamashita
Oh
was
yeah.
another one who received a very high second place vote, only one vote overall. We got and then finally number 11 for us, just missing out on the cut, is our 2023 top number one women's wrestler of the year, Athena, who received 3 nominations,
Wow. She was
5 points
she
over
was on my list. That I do remember.
on yours. Well, Bianca missed it, but Athena didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find it right now, but
You're like, I don't know what I have put, but
I really don't remember. It's a lot. So much happening. Too many lists. That's why.
yeah, I do send a lot of those lists, to be
Too many
fair.
lists to catch up with. Okay, so yep.
But let's get into our top 10 here. Coming in at number 10, Miss Chrissy Love. Coming in at number 10 with 4 nominations, 7 points overall. So a person who was named a couple of times, but never really high up, maybe at the bottom of everybody's top 5 here. But with 4 nominations, 7 points, we have the reigning
Wow.
TBS champion, Mercedes
Interesting.
Mone. Mercedes Mone came into this year as the hot free agent for All Elite Wrestling, kind of viewed as like a key acquisition for All Elite Wrestling at the beginning of 2024. They made the big introduction for her at AEW Big Business in Boston. The big debut, one of the better debuts in AEW history, leading to her in-ring debut at Double or Nothing, where she defeated Willow Nightingale to become the TBS champion. She went on an undefeated streak from there, getting wins over Stephanie Vaquer at Forbidden Door, where she retained the TBS championship and also became the NJPW Strong Women's Champion. So she defended both titles throughout the rest of the year. She defeated Britt Baker at All In. She defeated Hikaru Shida at All Out. She had a great match with Chris Statlander at Full Gear that
one of her
nearly
best
stole the
of the
show.
year.
At that show, she will be defending the TBS championship against Statlander at World's End on December 28th. With the NJPW Strong Women's Championship, she defended against Momo Watanabe at Capital Collision, and then had one of the best women's matches of the entire year against Hazuki at NJPW Strong Style Evolved, retaining the title there. She will defend that title on January 5th at Wrestle Dynasty against Mina Shirakawa, with the Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's Championship also on the line. So as far as results and in the ring, a good year for the most part for Mercedes Mone. I think not always did her character connect in AEW, especially her initial babyface run, and then a lot of the heel run, especially with her pairing with Camille. There was, like you said, the dud against Britt Baker at All In. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, you may see that on our top 10 worst matches of the year. And then there was kind of the disappointing matchup with Hikaru Shida, but for the most part, she won a lot of matches. She was in some good to even great matches and some of the best women's matches of the year between Willow at Double or Nothing, Statlander at Full Gear,
and then the last one
Hazuki at Strong Style Evolved. Like, those 3 matches are in like probably my top 6, top 7 for the year when it comes to women's wrestling. So Mercedes, I feel like she got a late push. She really got a late push even on our nominations. It wasn't until like the last couple of nominations that I tallied that people were including her in the top 5.
I mean, well, I think it's to be fair because the beginning started out very rough because she didn't really start wrestling when she first got to AEW. So they debuted her and had her out, but they still had her like sitting on the sideline. So it wasn't like a service for her. So she didn't really start getting really like pushed until like I want to say May, June was that I think where she really like started going. So slow but stuff. So it started off rocky, but she's ended off very well. So give her some more,
She finished off strong. That's all you have to do. Finish off
exactly.
strong. I'm hoping though 2025 will be a more consistent year and you get the TBS championship off of her because it just breaks up the whole kind of hierarchy in AEW because the TBS championship has been treated on a higher level than the women's championship because Mercedes has that title.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely because we're not going to talk about the women's champion of Mariah May, but we'll show like the one got pushed more than the other, and then they didn't even know what to do with the world's champion. So it showed.
That was an issue, but the positives were very positive. The match with Statlander was an instant classic. So great that they was like, hey, we're just going to do it again at World's End. That's how great that match was. They were like, we're just going to do it again. Her and Willow, I feel like her coming into AEW was really the igniter for Willow having a great year and being elevated up the card as well. So she and of course what she did with Stephanie Vaquer got Stephanie Vaquer the freaking bag from WWE.
Yeah. That is true. So thanks Willow for all those things. We love you, Willow.
No, thank Mercedes. Mercedes is the factor there.
That's true. Yeah, that match she had at what was it?
Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door, yes, which was really good too. Yes.
Yeah. But we got to move on to number 9 here. So with 2 nominations, with 9 points overall, so 2 higher than Mercedes, including 1 first place nomination, Miss Chrissy Love.
Okay.
We have the aforementioned Stephanie Vaquer. Stephanie Vaquer came into this year kind of looking like an upstart, if you will, after kind of breaking out in 2023, where she had that great match with Mercedes Mone at Resurgence in May of 2023, was vying for the NJPW Strong Women's Open Women's Championship a bunch at the end of 2023, coming up short to Mayu Iwatani for the IWGP Women's Championship, but at the beginning of 2024, she defeated Julia to become the NJPW Strong Women's Champion and really went on a very good run with the title, defeating the likes of Azumi. She beat Alex Windsor on NJPW Strong USA shows, but her real breakout came when she was introduced to the AEW audience as the champion for the double title matchup at Forbidden Door. It was a great matchup with Mercedes Mone once again in front of that Long Island crowd that really chose Vaquer over Mercedes, thus turning Mercedes heel. But in the big ramification of this matchup was Stephanie Vaquer being signed by WWE. The whole bidding war, it was going on for like a week, and then all of a sudden Stephanie had signed with WWE. She leaves CMLL abruptly, leaving them hanging, having to relinquish the CMLL World Women's Championship and the CMLL Women's Tag Team titles. She debuts in WWE on their house shows in Mexico, and then later debuts again in October alongside Julia. Her and Julia go on to defeat Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade at Halloween Havoc, where she pinned the NXT Women's Champion. She was involved in the great match in the Women's Iron Survivor at NXT Deadline. Stephanie Vaquer, she was kind of like she's in my top running as far as I haven't completed the ballot yet, the form yet for our year-end awards for Saturday, but I am, and I'm probably going to put Stephanie Vaquer like 1 or 2 breakout star in all of wrestling, regardless of gender. I feel like she had the biggest breakout because she got like kind of like introduced to like the American audience last year with the match with Mercedes, but it was a real breakout this year.
Yeah, especially when she did the Forbidden Door one. I think everyone was like, "Oh, we got to start watching her." Yeah, like we know Mercedes, but her to put on that match against Mercedes, and again, I was there. The crowd was rooting for her. Like we really wanted Stephanie to win. Because she turned it out. She brought all of it out. And yes, I agree with you. She's definitely one of the breakout stars of the year.
Yeah, she's just so good in the ring. And I feel like she has adapted and transitioned better to WWE than even Julia. I feel like Julia will probably be the one who gets the big like the big push for off the rip, but I feel like the one who translated better to the scene was Stephanie Vaquer.
I agree. Julia, we knew was going to get, once she came from being there at WrestleMania, we knew she was going to get the bag, and they was going to like put they're going to push her all the way to the top.
Yeah,
Stephanie's you're gonna have to watch out for Stephanie. I feel like she's gonna come and like put Julia in her place, even if they are friends. They're gonna play that up against them. You know what I'm saying? So.
You definitely have to. But yeah, I'm interested to see when they finally pull the trigger on their rivalry, because I feel like that's the rivalry that's gonna kind of be
the women's need
the next
over
big thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Next big thing for the NXT women's division.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Coming in at number 8, Miss Chrissy Love, we got with 4 nominations, 10 points overall, the reigning AEW Women's World Champion, Mariah May. Mariah May, of course, came into this year as the protege of Timeless Toni Storm, the AEW Women's World Champion. But we all knew what the payoff to that whole relationship was, and it was Mariah May one day challenging Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship. As the year went on, and we saw the various teases to where their relationship would go, like when Luther was fighting over the towel to throw in for Toni Storm against Serena Deeb, or whether it be the love triangle with Mina Shirakawa ahead of Forbidden Door. We saw the signs that one day Mariah would turn on Toni, and we got it a lot sooner than we thought we would, as Mariah May won the 2024 Women's Owen Hart Cup and then betrayed Timeless Toni Storm in one of the most visceral and emotional and dramatic heel turns I think in all of women's wrestling history. Like this was so well done, such a great heel turn. I think that a lot of people are sleeping on it because it happened in the middle of the year, that they're forgetting how great that heel turn was. And then it all culminated at All In, where Mariah May defeated Timeless Toni Storm in one of the better women's matches of the year at All In to win the title. She went on to have a successful title defense against Willow Nightingale at Wrestle Dream. She had the big breakup with Mina Shirakawa at Full Gear, leading to their very good matchup at Winter is Coming. And she is heading up and going to be defending the title against Thunder Rosa coming up at World's End. So a damn good year for Mariah May. Another person who I say is in the running for breakout star of the year.
She did so good as the protege, and then was like pushed to the front and did the heel turn that we knew was coming, but we just it was like a slow push, but it was a really good slow to the story that was being told by those two girls. And she's definitely another breakout star, even though we've seen her from like last year, from 2023. But yes, this year she stepped up and was definitely deserves to be on this list.
Oh, 100%. And she's only going to get better. I feel like she would be higher on this list if they had executed post title win a little bit better. If they had a better plan for her after the title win, I feel like she would be maybe a top 5 kind of push person, probably in that top 6 or so.
Because they put all their eggs in the basket for Mercedes and forgot about the main
person. I think the AEW, a lot of their issues throughout 2024 has been choosing to do stuff they don't need to do. You choose not to do anything with Mariah May until Toni Storm is back, or until Mina Shirakawa figures out her visa issues. You can come up with something else, and you can have her do a freaking celebration that they tease for like 3 freaking months. So it halted all the progression that AEW had in 2024 after All In. But
Okay.
Mariah May, I don't think that she has done anything wrong herself.
Okay. No, that's
So-
never her. I think it's the people that runs the show. You know what I'm saying? Not, her. Definitely not her. It's just the people didn't know what the hell they were doing. That's what I meant.
Nah, I feel you on that. So we have a first here, Miss Chrissy Love.
Is it a tie? Or
yes, a tie.
What?
Coming
Number
in
7?
at number 7 with exactly the same stats. 8 nominations, 19 points, 1 first place vote. We have first the reigning WWE Women's World Champion, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan was injured at the beginning of the year, but returned in the Royal Rumble matchup. And she started talking about she was on the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. She came up short on her attempt to get that way to the Revenge Tour and get her way to Rhea Ripley, who injured her last year in the Elimination Chamber, was beaten in the final 2 by Becky Lynch. She would battle with Becky and Nia on the way to WrestleMania. After WrestleMania, she would get her revenge by injuring Rhea Ripley. Thus, Rhea had to relinquish the WWE Women's World Championship, but that wasn't where Liv was done. Just because Rhea was gone and Rhea lost the title doesn't mean she's done. She wins the Women's World Championship from Becky Lynch and then starts to try to seduce Dominic Mysterio and all of the Judgment Day to her side, trying to take everything from Rhea Ripley. It culminated with the big matchup at SummerSlam following Rhea's return in July, the big opener to SummerSlam, where their feud was at its hottest with Dominic Mysterio in the middle of this love triangle. Dom chooses Liv over Rhea at SummerSlam. Liv retains, and thus Rhea is excommunicated from the Judgment Day. Liv became the top heel female in WWE throughout this year, really showing her kind of character work. I thought a lot in the summer with the whole seduction angle with Dominic Mysterio, and it was like the hottest program, right up there with like Punk and Drew in 2024, especially in the summer. After the summer, though, kind of took a drop off. The Terror Twins beat Dom and Liv at Bash in Berlin. Then Liv and Rhea did not have the best matchup at Bad Blood, but it was still Liv retaining the championship. Raquel Rodriguez got added to her act as a heater, but it was more or less kind of still the same finishes. Distraction, Liv cheats, Liv wins. That's how she beat Nia Jax at Crown Jewel to become the first ever female Crown Jewel winner. She was a part of the Women's War Games, and now she is set to defend the Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley at WWE Raw on Netflix. But that is only one half of our number 7 here. Also at number 7, with the exact same stats, 8 nominations, 19 points, 1 first place vote. It is Willow Nightingale. Willow Nightingale cemented herself as one of the best baby faces in all of women's wrestling throughout 2024. She went in with a mission to win championship gold in AEW in 2024 after being the NJPW Strong Women's Champion last year and winning the Owen Hart Cup. So she came in, and in April, she did just that, beating Julia Hart to become the TBS champion. She was involved in a main program for the women's division with Mercedes Mone, heading into a triple main event at Double or Nothing, where she had one of the best women's matches of the year against Mercedes, dropping the title there. But in the post-match, it was Chris Statlander betraying her. Her best friend betrayed her and started one of the better women's programs of the year. They went back and forth, trading wins. Willow won in the Owen Hart Cup. Chris got involved in the final matchup, costing her the Owen Hart Cup against Mariah May. They battled an eliminator matchup where Statlander won. And then finally, it all culminated in their third matchup, a Chicago street fight at AEW All Out in one of the best matches of the year for AEW. Not just women's matches, one of the best matches, period. They went out there, knocked it out the park. They had to follow Will Ospreay and Pac, yet still had the crowd on their feet, on the edge of their seat for a highly intense, incredible street fight that they had. Statlander won the matchup, but Willow was able to use that momentum from this great matchup, parlay that into an AEW Women's World Title matchup against Mariah May. Another very damn good matchup there as well. Willow is on her way to the International Women's Cup final coming up at the Tokyo Dome on January 5th at Wrestle Dynasty. But man, what a year for Willow Nightingale. What a year for Liv Morgan. For all I've said wrong about Liv Morgan, and mainly my issue is that it's a formula, it's just stick. Once you realize the stick, you kind of will get annoyed by the stick the more you see it, and I've seen it a lot with Liv Morgan.
You call it and the bell rings, and then
I cannot deny though that she was one of the hottest characters in WWE at one point this year. She may not be there now at the end of the year, but in the summer with the love triangle of Dom, Rhea, and Liv, that and Punk and Drew were like the two hottest programs in the company. With the whole Bloodline storyline kind of coming to a head, with everybody knowing Roman was going to was going to return at SummerSlam, I think everybody was more interested in those two matches, those two programs, and especially Liv and Rhea heading into SummerSlam. So I cannot deny Liv took a step up, and it was something that I said at the beginning of the year. I was like, Liv needs to be heel. She has a much higher ceiling as a heel than a plucky underdog babyface, and she proved me right.
She's definitely doesn't need to be like, certain people don't need to be faces. She's definitely one of those people. She's like, Charlotte, you have to just make her a bad guy. She's much more believable and fun as a heel. It's just what it is. Like, she can do more. Her character is more of have a range. Like, I feel like she was stuck in a bubble when she was a face.
Yeah, I think so. I think that she was still stuck in a bubble, and she wasn't able to be very creative. She was trying to be herself. That works for some people. It doesn't work for everybody. Some people have to play a character, and I feel like Liv shined by playing a character.
She definitely shined when she plays the heel character, and I think she is more believable. She's having fun. Like, let's just make it even more. Like, her laugh is even more obnoxious now. Like, the laugh is now more loud.
Like, it's all the laugh comes from like the back of the throat for her. But yes, a great year. And then Willow Nightingale, I know she was a part of your top 5.
Yes, she was.
What did you think about Willow in 2024?
Willow in 2024, of course, like, she was great from 2023 and is even better. And like, she had some of like the best matches for AEW this year. More losses than wins, but great match. She's had more end of year matches, like she has great like candidates. Like the one with Statlander, the street fight was like one of the best matches on that card, and like they had to go before Will Ospreay and Pac. Like, it's like, okay, we gotta go after them. All right, no problem. We're gonna do it. No problem. And they succeeded. Like, the people were on their feet. The people didn't sit down after they sat down, but then they got back up for that match. So yes, I think she submitted herself, and like, I've always been a Willow girl. So yes, she deserves
and she's one of the best promos in the company. I think regardless of gender, I think and she's perfected the babyface promo, which is like the hardest thing for the modern day wrestler.
Yeah, she's definitely female Hulk Hogan, like.
Next up, we got number 6, Miss Chrissy Love, coming in at number 6 with 9 nominations on 22 points, so 3 points higher than Willow and Liv at number 7. We got the former TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace had a hell of a year, and another person that you can make an argument for breakout star of the year, because she was already as kind of a star already for TNA, but she broke out onto the mainstream in 2024, starting off with her debut in WWE in the Women's Royal Rumble matchup. Had a strong showing there, one of the best parts of the whole entire show, if you really think about it. Then followed that up. Before that, she regained the TNA Knockouts Knockouts World Championship, defeating Trinity at Hard to Kill. She had one of the greatest Knockouts World title reigns of all time, tallying up, I believe, upwards of 15 or more title defenses in this one title reign this year, defending the title all over the place. She faced Zarya before she came to NXT this year. She faced Miyu Yamashita outside of TNA. She had some good matches against Ash by Elegance, Tasha Steelz, Giselle Shaw. The list goes on, just putting up great title defenses, great reign overall, and being really the face of TNA wrestling in 2024. And now she ended off the year by dropping the TNA Knockouts World Championship to Masha Slamovich in what was TNA's match of the year, where Masha winning the title. Before that, in the middle of the year, she broke out yet again by making her debut in NXT in the short program with Roxanne Perez, challenging Roxanne for the NXT Women's Championship at Battleground. She's appeared numerous times on NXT since then, defending the TNA Knockouts World Championship against Sol Ruka. She was part of the 10-woman tag in ECW Arena in November. So what a year for Jordynne Grace. Honestly, I was surprised that she wasn't pushing for more of a top 3. I think that the main thing is why she didn't crack the top 5 or top 3 is that she had no first place votes. And I don't know why. I thought more people would give her a first place vote, but I guess there's a couple of ladies that had stronger years than us. But what a year for Jordynne Grace, just breaking out into the mainstream. The great matches with Roxanne Perez, with Masha Slamovich, with Trinity. What did you think about Jordynne in 2024?
Jordynne is truly a star. You can see it. You could see star power when you see her. She's like the package. And like you said, I figured she would break through more of a higher, maybe top 5-ish thing. But hey, it is what it is. But good for her. She's going to do so much more in 2025.
Agreed, because she's going to be in WWE in 2025. I think it's a foregone conclusion at this point. Just as they said, TNA, you set yourself up. Don't be sending her over there all the time. They just love her over there. It's like they tell her, get comfortable. Here's some pajamas. Here's a towel. Here's a washcloth.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
Now she got a home. Now she
has a home. That's true.
Coming in at number 5 on our list here. So we're cracking the top 5. And it's weird because she has the same amount of points as Jordynne Grace at number 6. But on less nominations, the key that got her the 5 spot over Jordynne is that she had 2 first place nominations. So on 6 nominations, including 2 first place votes, 22 points overall, we have Sareee. Sareee was probably kind of the face of Joshi wrestling in 2024, just going all across all the major Japanese promotions, Stardom, Marigold. She started her own promotion, Sareeism, which is a strong promotion over there, which helping out running shows biannually over there. So Sareee had a great year, putting on classic matches against Chihiro Hashimoto, against Julia, where she won the Marigold World Championship. She had the great matchup with Mayu Iwatani for the IWGP Women's Championship over in Stardom at All-Star Grand Queendom. But most of all, Sareee is proving that you don't need the WWE model to kind of go on the run of your career. She had a lackluster run in WWE where they just did not get her. They tried to give her that whole Japanese schoolgirl gimmick, and then the jewel that turns her into a superhero type shit. That was just ridiculous, wonky shit. And ever since she's left WWE and gone out on her own, she has really taken Joshi wrestling by storm. And this year had to be her strongest year yet. I was surprised a little bit that she cracked the top 5. I wasn't surprised she didn't be in the top 10 because she was on my list. But I am surprised she cracked the top 5. But that shows you how strong of a year she has, because it's so rare for us on our top 10s that we have people this high, not from WWE or AEW.
Very true. Very true. But like it always shows you like when you leave WWE and you show people who you really are, because they wouldn't let you show them, they're big stars. And so it's like it's facts. It's all proven. Everyone that has left is just like has made big names for themselves on the independent scene. They go to all these other promotions and they become breakout stars. Even if WWE doesn't see it, wrestling fans see it.
Absolutely, and they saw it for sure. And I know folks like our good brother Vala B will be very happy about today's placement here, even though he'll probably also be unhappy because she's not number one. So
it's okay. She made the top 5, friend.
Give and take. Coming in at number 4 here, Miss Chrissy Love. We got coming in at number 4 on 5 nominations, 23 points overall, so to one higher than both Jordynne Grace and Sareee. But this one, 5 nominations, 3 first place votes. We have the reigning IWGP Women's Champion, Mayu Iwatani. And this is like the ultra rare case where we have 2 people outside of WWE and AEW in our top 5. The last 3 entrants are non-WWE AEW people. So what a year for women's wrestling overall. But Mayu Iwatani, she was honestly at one point when I was doing my top 5, she was number 1 on my list, because when I think of the best women's matches of 2024, Mayu Iwatani is going to come up, because she had 3 of the best women's matches of the year for the IWGP Women's Championship, whether it be in January where she faced Shuri in just a hard-hitting, epic barn burner in the main event of Stardom during Wrestle Kingdom week, whether it be in April when she clashed with Sareee at All-Star Grand Queendom in this like war of attrition, going back and forth, high impact moves. Any which one of these women could have won that one, but Mayu was able to come out with the win. Then in November, historic crossover, she pulls out another banger with Momo Watanabe, kind of turning the clock back for Momo, who's always been so consistent but never had a match that great on such a big stage. But Mayu Iwatani makes having such a great match on that big stage a habit. Like, she is probably the most consistent and most reliable women's wrestler in the world today, who can give you that high-end, great classic matchup that you're talking about by the end of the year as one of the best women's matches in the world. And she did that multiple times this year. She's been the IWGP Women's Champion, been one of the top draws for Stardom. It sounds like she's maybe finishing up her run in Stardom in 2025. So we will see what the future holds for Mayu Iwatani, but she is scheduled to defend the IWGP Women's Championship January 4th in the Tokyo Dome. Yes, woman back on the Wrestle Kingdom card as she faces Azumi for the championship at Wrestle Kingdom 19. She has held this championship, the IWGP Women's Championship, for 18 months.
Wow.
18-month reign. It's one of like the more iconic women's title reigns in recent memory. Mayu Iwatani is one of the GOATs. And the fact that Mayu is so high on this list, and we mentioned during our honorable mention, kind of someone that she came up with, Io Sky just missing out on our top 10 list, but Mayu Iwatani, who did not make the decision to go to WWE like a Io Sky, like a Kyrie, who she came up with in this industry with, but is still able to stand out in such a way. It says to the credit. That's why people call her the icon of Stardom. She is kind of the god of Stardom, the greatest of all time, the GOAT. Ooh. What do you think? Mayu making it on our list here, and what do you think? What Mayu's going to do in 2025? Will she make the move to go to WWE? Maybe go to Marigold? I think that she's going to stay in Japan because it just seems that's where she loves.
You have more freedom. You can do more range over there. Like, it's not very restricted in a box. So I think it would be in her best interest to stay over there. Don't come to the US. Sorry. Just saying, because they're gonna put you with the other girls that are just like you, and yeah.
Hit you in the
Kabuki
box.
Warriors.
Stay right here. You stay
Yep.
right. But yes, that is very true. But yeah, Mayu, definitely go out of your way if you haven't already. Watch some of those matches. The one with Mayu Iwatani versus Momo Watanabe had a historic crossover, hard hitting clash. Mayu had freaking bruises on her face by the end of that matchup, and her and Shuri was just as hard hitting. They were stiffing each other in that one, and then the one with Sareee, man. Just classic after classic after classic. She has like those 3 matches is probably in my top 7 women's matches of 2024.
Yeah.
Next up, we got number 3. So we crack in the top 3 here. Miss Chrissy Love coming in at number 3 with 23 points. So the same as Mayu Iwatani, but she had more nominations, 9 nominations, 1 first place vote. We have Rhea Bloody Ripley. Rhea Ripley came into this year, of course, the WWE Women's World Champion, riding high. She headlined Elimination Chamber in her home country of Australia, defeating Rhea Ripley. She went on to WrestleMania and picked up the victory over Becky Lynch in a great matchup to open up night 1. From there, though, on Raw after WrestleMania, she was brutally attacked by Liv Morgan, leading to her injuring her triceps, injuring her arm, and thus having to be out of action for a number of months. This led to the whole Liv Morgan seduction and Liv Morgan revenge tour that we saw going on. But then Rhea returned in July, leading to the great love triangle angle heading into SummerSlam. Lost to Liv Morgan thanks to Dominic Mysterio turning double heel on Rhea at that event. Rhea was then hell-bent on getting revenge on both Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio and the entirety of the Judgment Day. Her and Damian Priest defeated Liv and Dom at Bash in Berlin. She went and had a challenge for Liv at Bad Blood, coming up short there, but winning the matchup via disqualification after interference from Raquel Rodriguez. She was supposed to be injured by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez on NXT, but just returned 2 weeks later and led up her own Survivor Series team in the Women's War Games and picked up the victory there. And now she is set to challenge Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's World Championship coming up at WWE Raw on Netflix. I don't think there's an argument. There's no bigger star in women's wrestling than Rhea Ripley right now. Rhea, this is why I always say, like, the criteria for Women's Wrestler of the Year, Men's Wrestler of the Year is everything. It's the broad spectrum. It's not just who had the best matches. It's not just who had the best promos, who had the best character, who had the best presentation, position, all of that. It's all of those factors all in one. But I look at this Rhea Ripley being number 3 and how she was on so many nominations. I feel like this is one where drawing power is the biggest. Like, she's a 10 out of 10 when it comes to drawing power. There's no bigger star in women's wrestling than Rhea Ripley right now. So what did you think about Rhea in 2024?
Rhea, again, even when she was injured, they called. They was like, come on, we need you to come back. We need you to please speed this up. We need you to hurry up and come in. We need you right now. And came face mask, broke arm, everything, just to still draw people to come watch. She's a draw. That's what it is. One of the Terror Twins is a draw. She's just cemented herself, and even she was a star from NXT. You knew what she was going to do when she came over, and they pushed her all the way to the top, and rightfully so. She can definitely give promo. She can sell it. She's like a total package.
Indeed. She really is so good. She's so good, and it really feels like she's only scratched the surface on how good she's going to be.
Yes, exactly. It's nice. She hasn't even done, I feel like, everything, and look at this.
Which, spoiler alert, I think we could say the same thing about 1 and 2, because coming in at number 2 for us here on our top 10 women's wrestlers of 2024. So we're taking a big jump up because Rhea Ripley had 23 points. So did Mayu Iwatani at 3 and 4. Number 2 here has 41 points, 13 nominations, 2 first place votes. You have the reigning NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez.
Look at that.
Roxanne Perez came into this year still playing the plucky underdog babyface character. She challenged Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship at Vengeance Day, which Lola Vice cashed in her breakout tournament contract to make a triple threat matchup. Roxanne lost, but she was never pinned, thus started her slow descent to snapping and finally having enough of being a goody two-shoes. She eventually turns heel, turning on Lyra Valkyria, leading to Stand and Deliver, where she defeated her to become a two-time NXT Women's Champion, and then she was off and running. She went and she was pretty much a star as a heel, showing a bit of confidence that we never saw with her as a babyface. Even though her being the white meat babyface seemed so natural for her, this one seemed like this is what she's always been meant to be. She came off like an AJ Lee-esque character in this heel role. And then June, she had the big breakout where the NXT Women's Division really started to feel like the main event scene because Jordynne Grace from TNA, the TNA Knockouts division, the world champion, comes over and challenges Roxanne for her NXT Women's Championship. Roxanne has a tough fight and won a great matchup, but comes out of that as the champion. She goes on to Heat Wave and successfully defends against Lola Vice, and Lola Vice best matchup of her young career. She had Jada Parker's best matchup of her young career at No Mercy. And then the second half, the latter half of the year, the fall and winter, she's really had a much stronger women's division overall that she had really pretty much built on her own. She said it before Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and Zarya got here that it wouldn't be possible for them to come here and feel like there was a division to come to if not for Roxanne Perez being the anchor of it all. Because before Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and Zarya come, it's just Roxanne and a whole bunch of women that's been wrestling for a year. Like, that's it. Like that's what the women's division was, and it was still good because Roxanne was so good in her role. And at 23 years old, we got like a decade of her to go. She might even get even better as the years go on. What a year for Roxanne Perez. Definitely was in my top 5. Where did she rank for you, and what did you think overall of the past 12 months for Roxanne?
Once she did the heel turn, that's when you was like, okay, yes, because we didn't know what her character was, because we were just like, all right, she's just this face, but what is happening? Like, what is she? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you a school, or like what are we doing right now? And once she did the heel turn, it just like clicked. Like, okay, yes, she's the prodigy. She's the one. Like, she's she's cementing herself into this NXT brand of like, yeah, this is me. I'm running this, and I'm good as a better heel than the face that you guys wanted me to be. Let me take this and let me go running. And she's been so good, and she's gotten even better on the mic because now she has more confidence. You didn't feel that confidence when she was a face. And she's just that girl from Booker T's school. Sorry.
True. This is true. That was the main character trait that she had. She was from Booker T's school.
And he would always say, and he would be very happy to say it. Now,
Chucky ducky quack quack
now it's a different story. So yes. But yeah, she was definitely she was number 5 for me in my list. But she definitely submitted herself and took that NXT brand and the women's division somewhere it needed to be, because once all the bigger faces left, okay, what are we going to do with these new girls? How are we going to get them together? Like, what are we going to do? And she's and like, now you see this new range of like new girls coming up. And it's showing like they definitely have some type of it factor coming into form.
Yeah. And you can credit Roxanne for being the anchor of that women's division, which is probably the best in North America right now. And we finally made it to number 1, Miss Chrissy Love. So we talked about earlier, 2022, it was Bianca Belair. 2023, it was Athena. Coming in at number 1 for 2024.
You know who it is.
It was the woman who was number 2 on our list for 2023. Now is number 1 with I said Roxanne had 41 points, Chrissy Love. Number 1 has 66 points
Ooh.
overall on 16 nominations, 9 of which first place votes. It is timeless Toni Storm.
Well
When you
deserved.
talk about, you mentioned something interesting when you talked about Roxanne Perez. You said she did that heel character and it just clicked. You want to talk about finding a character and it just clicks?
This one right
It's
here.
timeless Toni Storm, like the timeless character, which really got her like the late votes, if I remember correctly, on our top 10 list last year,
Yeah.
because it came in the fall of last year that she develops that character, but it really shined through this year because the beginning part of the year, it was kind of her kind of putting it all together because she had got the character down right, but she had not yet figured out how to be the character and still wrestle a good matchup. So it took like the first half of the year, she was in that strong storyline, that strong feud with Deonna Purrazzo heading into Revolution. She picks up the win there at Revolution. From there, she had a title defense and challenge from Thunder Rosa. And then in between, on the lead up to the Thunder Rosa match, she had a really good matchup with Azumi and Stardom. And I remember correctly in the spring, I said Azumi found her working boots in Japan and she had a good matchup. And then ever since then, she started having good matchups consistently. You had the matchup with Serena Deeb at Double or Nothing, the great match with Thunder Rosa at Dynasty. She was just tearing it up, really getting better and better as things went on, and really just put it all together while she was also building the whole storyline with Mariah May, which came into the forefront in the lead up to Forbidden Door, which she feuded with Mina Shirakawa. That threesome storyline was the hottest thing in AEW in the early part of the summer, and it was one of their bigger draws on TV this year. It led to Toni Storm beating Mina in a very good matchup at the pay-per-view, and then Mariah May wins the Owen Hart Cup, turns on Toni, leading to that great heel turn on Dynamite and the great match at All In, where Toni loses to Mariah, drops the AEW Women's World Championship after one of the greatest reigns in the title's history. And I think that the big factor of why, like the first time I did the top 5, I put Mayu at number 1. The second time I did my top 5, I put Toni at number 1 because I think the biggest factor is how much the women's division dropped and fell flat on his face when she left. I think that showed that's how important she was to the whole entire division. Sometimes your absence, it shows your importance more than anything. And I think that's what Timeless Toni Storm's absence after All In showed, is that she was the key factor to making you interested and intrigued by what was going on in the women's division, whether it was a matchup she was having, whether she was on commentary, whether she had a promo. They had in-ring promos. They had promos in front of the crowd. And I was like, I remember being blown away at the beginning of the year. I was like, when was the last time they did a woman's promo in front of the crowd? Timeless Toni Storm was that good that they changed the whole way they were presenting the women. And then she capped off the year. Excuse me. Check my notes. Oh, this woman, this young upstart who's been inspired by Timeless Toni Storm, who goes by the same name, Toni Storm, who looks relatively familiar. She's been inspired by Toni Storm. That's the importance of Toni Storm. She inspired who I feel is going to be the 2025 Rookie of the Year, rocker Toni Storm. What did you think about Timeless Toni Storm in 2024? And do you think she was deserving of our number 1 spot?
Very well deserved for this spot. From her promos to her wrestling matches, just like even when like her tape vignettes, they were all good.
Oh, yes, the tape vignettes were so good.
Like, you forgot. I was like, how did you forget that? Like, that was like some of her best stuff. Like, it's just like, she was like, this, I'm going to, like, no one's seen this character before. I feel like she's like taken this and like turned it up like so many notches. Is like unbelievable. So definitely well deserved. I was my top for sure. I can't wait to see what this new character does in 2025.
Who is not Timeless Toni Storm?
Who's not Timeless Toni Storm? Like,
she's a rookie. She's a rookie. She's a complete rookie, novice. But yeah, I think that her importance to the AEW women's division, and with her on top, what the AEW women's division had its best like 8-month stretch of its whole entire existence in the past 5 years with Timeless Toni Storm on top, and she was a big part of it. Just the character work, the mic work, the commentary. She told Deonna Purrazzo this year, "I'm gonna sock you in the box."
Like, what does that even mean?
Might be the best quote. Best quote of the year. "I'm gonna sock you in the box." I think you know what it means. She's gonna punch her in the vagina. I mean, just saying. It's time to start. Only she could
Can
get
say
away
something
with
like that. Yeah, exactly.
No one gets character work like Timeless Toni Storm. I think that she checked the boxes across the board. Like I said, even on like being a draw, like the TV ratings kind of support that with the Mina Shirakawa feud that was a ratings draw for AEW. Whether it be like T-shirts and merchandise, I know she was doing well there. And then also in the ring, character wise, mic work. She just checked all the boxes more than anyone else on our list. So well deserving of being number one.
Yes, definitely well deserved for sure.
And might I add, that top three, man, look at the ages. Timeless Toni Storm, 29, Roxanne Perez, 23, Rhea Ripley, 28.
Yeah.
Bright future in women's wrestling.
Yep. Very good. Just keep them away from getting injured and they'll be great.
Please. But
less injuries
that concludes.
In
Yes, less injuries. We don't want someone like Rhea Ripley getting injured. I think if Rhea Ripley doesn't get injured, maybe she's battling with Roxanne and Toni for the number one spot.
Yeah, for sure.
No more injuries in 2024 and 2025. Please. But that brings us to the conclusion of our top 10 women's wrestlers of 2024. Miss Chrissy Love, thank you as always for our tradition here. I will meet you back here next December for our top 10 list of 2025. Until then, though, let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, when they will see you again. They're probably watching this on New Year's Day, so you have the heads up.
Sure. So, well, have a happy New Year, guys. See you in 2025. And yes, you can follow me, True Hill Chrissy Love, on X, Chrissy Love _1 on Instagram, and just my plain old name. Thanks.
And if you haven't already, check out our True Hill Heat year-end awards, True Hill Heat 309. That was the last podcast we did before the end of the year, where we read out your votes. Just you, not our team, just you voted on our men's wrestler of the year, women's wrestler of the year, match of the year, feud of the year, major show of the year, worst match of the year, promotion of the year, and much, much more. So if you haven't already, go over and check that out, and check out all of our year-end lists. We got match of the year dropping on New Year's Day as well. Best major show of the year should be up. Worst match of the year should be up as well. So check out all the top 10. Check out our tier list for our WWE roster. Check out our men's WWE tier list, our women's WWE tier list. Check out me and Draw Josh on our top 10 men's wrestlers of the year that dropped on Christmas Day. And check out me and Jimmy Macaram on our top 10 worst matches of the year list.
Nice.
For Chrissy Love, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. May you all have a happy new year and enjoy the rest of the holiday week. Until then, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been our top 10 women's wrestlers of the year. We are signing off.